All right. We here, My NY, presented by the good guys. So we got Chess,
got Hoose.
Yes, we representing the New York fan from different perspectives. I'm representing local teams, well, most of them, and we got your Players fan here.
There you go.
You know, so you know how it is in New York. You know, you can see people walking around with all sorts of caps and never been to the West Coast but rooting for the Warriors. You got people that are in the city, you know, rooting for Celtics and Red Sox and everything else, and it's all right, you know, down here, you know. So we make fashion statements, we make
that's what it comes statements. Down to, fashion statements.
Yeah,
that's all.
And we root for our teams too. We definitely go hard for our squads. So, you know, welcome to the show, and let's go.
So, let's jump into it. So, him and I were talking earlier today, and he was a little upset about the comments that Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe was talking about with the Nets acquiring Kawhi Leonard, if possible, in the 2019 year, right?
Shannon, how do you see this playing out?
Skip. Hell, I don't know. Does Kawhi know? Here's the thing. Okay, I want to go to the Lakers. Then Lakers or Clippers. Man, I don't want no parts of Toronto. I can see myself really liking Toronto. Mm-hmm. Now Brooklyn's into the equation. So let me get this right. Here's a guy that spent, 5, 6, 7 years in the organization and said 2 words to his teammates. Now he's on the phone, picking up the phone, calling guys he really doesn't know and asking whether or not they want to play with him.
In Brooklyn?
In Brooklyn.
What? Brooklyn?
Skip, some of it could be true. None of it could be true. All of it could be true. No matter the situation, this makes Kawhi Leonard look terrible. He's looking, and that's the problem you have. So he might not be saying anything. Maybe it's his representative. But since the representatives speak for you because you're not speaking, that's basically you speaking. It's making him look awful. It seems like he's indecisive. Like he really doesn't know what he wants. And like someone is like, what you think about this? Okay. What do you think about it? No. What do you think about that? Okay. What do you think about it? Skip, this is terrible. Brooklyn, Kawhi. Let that sink. I want people at home that's watching, and you know Kawhi Leonard. What's the likelihood of Kawhi Leonard picking up the phone? Say, hey, bro, you know, I'm a free agent in 2019. What you think about us linking up in Brooklyn? That doesn't even sound like Kawhi.
Right? So I just wanted to know how, you know, why you were so upset, because to me, Shannon Sharpe was just pretty much saying that Kawhi is indecisive. He wasn't making a stern decision on his future, pretty much. He got people pulling him in different directions, and he's not being his own man. But you took it as he was taking a shot at the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't tell already, you see the hat. You know, that's my team. Local guy, you know, so I'm definitely going for the Nets. That's who I chose, you know, over the Knicks, even though I didn't grow up in Brooklyn, but it's still all New York. And I just think that they get dismissed too much. You know, some of it is valid. You know, I get why the media doesn't go for them because it's not as large a fan base as it is in New York and for the Knicks anyway. But to me, it's all about building a culture, which is what they're doing now. You have ownership that's willing to spend the money. They didn't spend it right before, but now they seemingly have a plan and a good plan, and it's being executed really well by Sean Marks, the GM. You have Kenny Atkinson, which is a good coach with a great coaching staff. And in the last few years, they've totally changed the whole feel, energy of the team. Free agents, words are getting around to the agents, the free agents, you know, everybody that represents them or whatever. So we have an influx of talent coming in. We've been drafting really well as well. So then when you hear somebody of Kawhi Leonard's stature being rumored to possibly want to come to the Nets, and along with having a relationship with the GM, Sean Marks, from his San Antonio days, I'm like, well, why is it so ridiculous? Why is it dismissed so easily? You know, if he would have been saying, oh, they possibly want to go to the Knicks, like the rumor is with Kyrie and Jimmy Butler, then all of a sudden it's a great thing. But I'm like, we have things in place. If you add them to it, all of a sudden it looks a lot different.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying. I know that the Nets have a bunch of young talent. They're hungry, gritty guys. Because I watched a lot of their games last year, and they made games interesting, especially against top teams.
Right.
But I don't think Shannon Sharp was actually taking a shot at the Nets. I just, like I said, his indecisiveness, Kawhi's indecisiveness, and then, you know, initially he was talking about going to LA. Any LA team. He wanted to go to the Clippers, the Lakers, and then now that he's in Toronto, he's like, well, maybe it can work out here. And now he's talking about the Nets, you know? So I think that was his perspective. But as far as the two New York teams are concerned, you have a bunch of young talent, but so does the Knicks, if they're healthy, you know? So
well, I mean, let's see, let's break down the rosters, right?
okay.
Start like with the most popular team, right? You have the Knicks and they have Porzingis.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Porzingis, would you consider him a superstar?
To me, he has to stay healthy. He has to stay healthy long enough, play the full season out, and we see if they make the playoffs. We see how he looks when that pressure is on him.
But so far from what we've seen, talent-wise, what he did coming out of the draft, he caught a lot of people by surprise. I give him that. Like, the kid is good. He's really good.
He's really good.
But would you consider him to be like a transformative talent? Like, he's a superstar that's going to take him to the promised land?
He could be. Like I said, if he stays healthy, he could be. Because he's a tough cover. You know, I think, and his length throws people off. So a lot of times when people beat him to the basket, his length make up for it. You know,
Okay.
on the defensive end.
Okay.
So, but he has to learn the balance of when to shoot and when to pass. Because I've noticed when he was playing, there were certain games that he'll hold the ball and force up a shot instead of passing it to get it back for a better shot.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, to me, what I've seen is that he has star potential. Superstar is that guy that, you know, like you said, he's gonna show who he is in the playoffs. That's when you find out like who's who and what's what. Are you a superstar? Are you a star?
Right.
Are you just an all-star level talent, you know, or you're a role player, whatever. So far, I would give him like a star talent, maybe with the potential for more, because I think he does have the right attitude.
Okay.
So him by himself, I think he's more talented than all the players the Nets have. But I personally think that the Nets have more talent throughout the team, as opposed to being like, I guess you would call it top heavy, with one guy that's the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have it spread out pretty balanced, you know what I'm saying? So I think right now, the way the rosters are currently constructed, they're pretty even.
Okay.
They're pretty even, and, you know, so what's going to, you know, I think it's the hustle and the grit, the grind and everything like that that's going to show and prove who's better currently. But
So would it be fair to say that Kawhi could go to either New York team and it'll be just as good?
That's fair, but the only difference is that the attitude and everything in the media is that they totally dismiss it as if Kyrie the word was out that Kyrie grew up rooting for the Nets, growing up as a kid in Jersey. So they're in New York now. If you want that market, but you have the opportunity to have a team that kind of builds like a small market team, they got the best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? You can operate like the Spurs within the largest market in the world. I think that's ideal, you know, and then you won't have the pressures. I mean, the media, if they come there, the media is going to follow more so than they usually do. But I think that, you know, a lot of players want to kind of fly under the radar a little bit, you know, so they get all the benefits with a little bit less headache. So I just think that they shouldn't be dismissed. But, you know, like, again, going through the roster, you mentioned Tim Hardaway Jr., right? Mm-hmm. So that's the second best player on the Knicks, right? I would say that my best player on the Nets, D'Angelo Russell, right? So,
Think so?
I mean, that kid Jared Allen is pretty good, but right now I would give it to D'Angelo. And I mean, he came out in the same draft with Porzingis. So I don't think he's far behind. All he has to do is just be consistent. I think he's really good just from his position. It's just that he has to maintain more consistency. Yeah, he has more upside, more natural talent. Right now, Dinwiddie has shown to have a little bit more consistency, but they're both clutch. Ice in your veins and D'Angelo.
Yeah.
You got, Dinwiddie hitting game winners all last year. So we got a good makeup of intangibles with both. But I just think that D'Angelo, being a younger player, has a higher potential and upside than Dinwiddie does.
I hope you're right, because that Joker don't play no defense.
I mean, he doesn't, but there's a lot of guys that don't play D, which I don't excuse, but I think it's good that he can score. Like, he's like a skinny younger what's his name from the Rockets, James Harden. Like his style of play, the way he scores,
that lefty and in and out. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
His style is very similar. He's just skinnier, and
but you know what? Even James tried to play a little bit of defense this year.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
To win,
It was a little bit. A little something.
It ain't worth mentioning.
A couple of blocks, couple of steals, It's a little something.
Okay, so did D'Angelo.
Okay.
Let's
agree to disagree on that one.
It's a good debate, but they both need to step it up defensively. But I just think that when you go down the roster, like I'm going D'Angelo over Tim Hardaway Jr. Who's another starter for the Knicks?
You got Courtney Lee.
Okay, he plays defense, but he's kind of reached his level.
But he's to me, I think he's still got a lot of game left in him. He carried them, especially when Porzingis went out, and then Hardaway was out for a little bit.
Okay, so
he carried them. You got Ennis Cancer.
I go Rondé Hollis Jefferson. I think he's better than both of them. Cantor's tough. So is Rondé. They both workhorses. They're tough, defensive minded. He's smaller, but he defends larger players at the 4 position, very well.
He do.
And if he was able to defend his natural position as a 3, he'd be locking a lot of guys up.
But I like the fact that Cantor,
and he could score,
plays that bully ball down low in the box.
That's good.
He's probably better than any of your box players, like any of your forwards in that box position. You know what I mean? Get the rebound, works hard, gets to that line.
At the 4, I would still offensively give it to Rondé over him. He's a slasher. He worked on the shot, got that shot.
Your players are definitely more athletic.
Yeah,
than
so on the box, I would give it to you for that, but that's just so one-dimensional.
Right.
My man can do a few different things. Hopefully, over the summer he worked on that 3, so he can really give us what we need, because we need that stretch 4. That's what we're lacking. We're definitely lacking that stretch 4 out there in Brooklyn.
Or we could just get rid of all of them and just put Kyrie, Jimmy, and Kawhi on the Nets, and then you'd be happy.
I'd be ecstatic. What? That's the come up. That's back. That's better than when Jason Kidd was taking us to the finals. What? Man, please.
But who would be your center?
Jared Allen.
I'm not crazy about that kid either, but
don't sleep.
Yeah, I say you got a lot of upside.
He play like Capella, got those hops. He's only he just turned 20.
Yeah,
he put on that muscle.
Not Capella.
I think he got an upside to be better than Capella, honestly. And I think he's I think he has a better shot. And I think he's going to get better with that shot. Because he hit a couple of little threes, corner threes for us, even in the summer league this year.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I believe that kid. I think he was kind of, he's not the steal of the 2017 draft, but I think he's a steal in the 2017 draft.
Okay.
So I think people need to pay attention to him. But hey,
I've been watching. That's why I'm
let him sleep. I'm fine with creeping on the come up. Next thing you know, we in the finals.
Hey,
hopefully, if we get Butler, Kyrie, or some other superstar to help us out, but our bench should be solid. We got guys I think should probably even be starting. Karis LeVert. He was doing this thing in Michigan, and then when we drafted him, the only reason he fell in the draft was because he had broken his foot 3 times, and the same guy that fixed Brooke Lopez's and Kevin Durant's foot, the same surgeon, he fixed his foot, and so far
It's been holding up.
it's been holding up. So,
But I mean, I like LeVert, I like Dinwiddie, and I like Hollis Jefferson. Those guys to me are the glue pieces. You know, like I said,
they're pretty good two-way players as well. Like they play
Yeah.
at the end, they can score. And LeVert is good at running the point as well as running, you know, being a two guard. He can actually play like three positions because he's long enough for the three as well.
right.
You know, so he's very versatile. So I like that a lot about him.
I mean, I like D'Angelo's offensive game, but I don't know.
No, I mean the jury's out on him. Like I'm not gonna act like, you know, somebody need to hand him a trophy or anything right now, but he has to show to be consistent. He has to stay healthy. But I think there's things that are legitimate that kind of hindered him, you know, developing. His first year with the Lakers was Kobe's last year with the Lakers.
Right.
So nobody was paying him any mind. Like it was all about his Kobe Swan song, whatever, right?
And then he didn't make it any better for himself with the Nick Young situation.
That was his second year getting himself jammed up with that. So that was his fault. It's legit, but it's, you know, he brought it on himself. So that, you know, kind of hinders things. Teammates not wanting to play with you or whatever.
Right.
So he needed to mature. He made a dumb mistake. Third year, so over that summer, he gets traded to the Nets. New team. New beginning. But he was playing pretty well. And it's like as soon as he started taking DeMar Carroll's advice and learning how to make better decisions, his numbers were really good. You know, he was averaging like 20 points with like 5 assists, like a good amount of, I don't remember the exact amount of rebounds, but it was a good amount of rebounds. And he was doing over a nice stretch of games. Then he gets hurt. He's out for 2 months, trying to find his way back. And, you know, so this is his year where he got to show and prove, because his man Devin Booker just got an L extension. $150-something million over 4 years, and I think they came out the same draft.
How my man Charles Barkley say, he a stud.
Yeah, so he definitely got some motivation to want to show and prove, you know, especially if he don't want to get traded, you know, because these GMs are ruthless.
Yes, they are.
You know, I just think Sean Marks, he's, you know, he'll make it do whatever he needed to do. Same as Danny Ainge.
Oh yeah. Danny Ainge, she'll pull the trigger on you.
Yeah, and you see where the sorry, how you pronounce brother's name up there in Toronto? Jerry, oh man.
Oh man. I can't even think of the young brother name.
Yeah, that guy. We want, you know, you see what he did to DeRozan. You know, he even apologized, which is good. But I mean, if you tell your player, no, we're not trading you, and the next thing you know, you get a call to pack your bags, you're gonna feel some kind of way. Yeah. Not because you don't understand it's a business, but because, you know,
you just lied to me in my face. I mean, shoot. Yeah. We can talk about the stuff. This is what I want to do also. I want to talk about the stuff players can't say, you know? Because I know they get fined and stuff, which I think is ridiculous. Because if certain things happen, players should be able to express themselves. You know, they're in the situation, they should be able to say, look, that wasn't right. We got robbed. And without any, you know, consequences behind them talking freely. But anyway, back to what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, they all talk about the integrity of the game, but what's the point of having that last 2-minute rule or whatever where they let you know, like, the ref blew it? That undermines the ref. So, and there was a bunch of games, again, bringing it back to my squad, that easily, like, about 5 to 7 games that we should have won last year. We're not winning the championship, but it goes into team and player morale, and you working hard, and then they get robbed because your last name is Dinwiddie as opposed to Westbrook. And now they give this guy the call. But if you are all that and you nice, then just earn it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, if you got a guy named Dinwiddie or anybody else, you know, locking you up and you can't get your thing off, that shouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So if you really care about the integrity of the game, then I agree with you. They need to cut that out. Yeah. You know, they need to ref better. And what's the point of having replay and still getting a call wrong?
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You know. Now, one of the things I hate, and we've talked about this in the past. Mm-hmm. I hate the pump fake, jump into the defender foul call. I hate it with a passion. Because, yeah, you might have pump faked the person, got them off their feet. But if the defender is clearly avoiding the offensive player and that player jumps into them, that should be an offensive foul. Because just like when an offensive player goes up for a jump shot, the defender has to give them landing space. So why shouldn't it be the same way for the defender? If the defender leaves his feet, right, but he's clearly avoiding the offensive player and the offensive player jumps into you, you're not giving the defender their landing space. So in other words, that should be an offensive foul. I hate that call. I hate it with a passion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You know, it's a lot of nonsense calls, but hopefully, you know, it's the off season. They'll work it out. They'll, you know, the league will talk about it, change that rule.
I hope so.
I hope that I was watching some highlights earlier and of how the league was in the 80s and in the 90s, and we don't got to go back into where it looked like, you know, somewhat of an MMA match, but
right.
it definitely needs to be tougher, you know, and stop with all the ticky-tack fouls. And I think, you know, just more balance and competitiveness, and that'll probably stop a lot of these players from like hanging out with each other after you just got beat in the finals, going to the club together after you just got beat in the finals. Now, they all great players. I'm just saying,
if you're able to give them a hard foul again,
you might
not want to hang out with you.
Yeah, you might not want to chill too much because I know Mike and Patrick, you know, Patrick Ewing back in the day, like they were tight, you know, they were cool. But you see how Micah banging on him and scream on him, like, you know.
It was all competitive nature.
Yeah, you know, so we need more of that. And now I don't see that so much, you know. Maybe because they all want to team up and make it into a 4-team league. I don't know. Maybe that's how it's going. It's trending that way. But
Well, if it keep going this way, there ain't going to be no league.
I know.
Everybody's going to be on one team and everybody else is going to be on another team. And that's it.
I know.
2 teams.
But I think you're going to start seeing a lot of underdog fans, you know, rooting for the underdog, you know, because that's pretty much all you're going to be left to root for, you know, unless the super team happens to be in your city.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so.
But I mean, I like underdogs. I like a good underdog story. But the only problem is sometimes some of these underdog teams have the talent and they're just not gelling. You know, Washington Wizards. They got 2 studs, but they can't never beat Toronto.
The Wizards remind me of the East Coast Portland Trailblazers. You know, like when you got Roll and Beal is like McCollum and Lillard. You know, it's like you got a great backcourt. But I mean, what else you have? I mean, I know Dwight is there now, but you know, the word out on him. It's not that he's not talented. It's just he causes problems in the locker room, and you need to get along with your teammates, you know, to where, you know, y'all can work together. And if people don't like each other, and then Wall has been spoken of as if he has a bad attitude and people didn't really care for him, and they were acting like they didn't need him when he was hurt. And they went on a nice run without him, but it's sort of like, you know,
they would have been better. They would have been better if he would have been healthy going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody has that makeup. That's what I was saying about with Porzingis earlier. Is he that transformative talent to where it's not just on the court, you know, he's nice, but does he bring the best out in everybody else to where he's a complete player and he's definitely the leader, or is he just will he be an excellent second option, you know, to like...
Well, he's still young, so he's still got time.
I mean, even though I don't go for the Knicks, I hope he comes back healthy, though. You know, like, I hate injuries. You know what I'm saying? I hate with that. And last year was horrible for injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, I've never seen a year like that. I don't know if it's because they changed the schedule and they shortened up the preseason. And then they had them playing a little bit sooner. But to compensate for that, they ended a lot of the back-to-backs.
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know why they were getting hurt so much. I mean, these guys that got all the stuff in the world to, you know, keep them healthy. They got personal trainers of their own, personal trainers through the team. You get all the masseuses in the world. And
Body still can break down.
I guess so.
It's not a machine.
I guess that 82 season is kind of rigorous, but it wasn't bad for the past. In the past, like, everybody was good, you know. Nobody was getting hurt. Like, they played through it, right?
They tried to, but there was times that a lot of players got hurt. You know, there was a lot of good players went down.
I don't remember anybody really getting hurt unless it was like a crazy injury, you know, like where they really had to sit out. And whoever like really sat out for an extended period of time, I know Jordan got hurt his second season and was out for a majority of that, but he still came back to lead them to the playoffs. Patrick Ewing, I remember he got hurt. Like, was he with the Knicks when they went to the finals against San Antonio?
That was
99.
the worst time for him to get hurt.
Yeah. That, you know, that was kind of whack. But
and that was a shortened season too.
Yeah, that was kind of whack. You know, I mean, he messed up a lot of his own chances though. What was that? The finger roll when he should have dunked it. You know, it's the Knicks being the Knicks.
Knicks fans, boy.
Yeah, it was the Knicks being the Knicks. You know how they do.
But you know what? It's easier said than done. Because when you
dunk that ball,
it looked like it. But if you don't have that hang time or just enough to get that ball over the rim, he might have spasmed.
He
might have just hit the tip of that rim and just fell right back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like either way, it looked bad.
So it was just destined for them to lose.
Yeah,
it's the Knicks.
Yeah.
Hey, roll with the Nets.
Get rid of Dolan. Get rid of Dolan. Gee whiz. The players now have the opportunity to control their own destiny. The mentality of the old school players was, you know what, I'm gonna stay on this team because I need to beat the best, which was Mike, which was Reggie, you know, which was Pat, and they all were on their own teams. You know what I mean? So to be the best, you had to beat the best, and to beat the best, you had to go through all the different teams that had the best players on that team. Now, being that all the good players are jumping on the same team, it changes the whole dynamic of the league.
Yeah,
you know, which is, I mean, if you want to win a title, it's good, but it's whack for the game because now if y'all all jumping on the same team, then you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. It's just different. It's a different time, you know. All right, cool. So let me ask you this: the way the Warriors are currently constructed, even though we just seen them on paper with DeMarcus Cousins versus the 72-10 Bulls. 7-game series. Who you got?
Can't go against Mike. 72-10 Bulls.
72-10 Bulls. Greatest team ever.
Greatest team ever. I don't know. I know everybody's like, say Mike.
Not this generation.
I can't
this
just say Mike.
This generation wants you to go with the Warriors.
You had that 72-10 team. You had Scotty. You had Ron Harper. Dennis Rodman.
Yeah,
Steve Kerr.
Ron Harper.
You had
Dennis Rodman, Jordan, Pippen.
You had Tony Kukoc.
Kukoc, Longley.
Ooh.
Kerr, you had Joe Bushlaw off the bench.
Joe Bushlaw, okay.
Yeah, he popped them threes. And Randy Brown.
Randy Brown was a defender.
Mm-hmm. Jason Caffey. You had
so
was it John Sally and Robert Parrish was on the bench too, right? That was all part of that 72-10 team? Or was it the 97-98 Bulls? And they went like 69.
Nah, that 72-10 didn't have Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish was gone by then. Yeah, Robert Parrish was out by then.
You sure?
Yeah, I think he was that.
I think he was on that squad.
I don't know about that. He might have been, because he stuck around for a long time. At one point, he was like, what, 42, 43 years old, still playing?
I mean, like, if I'm going, like, just start at 5, the way I'm going to match him up.
Hold on, your starting 5 was Harper, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, and Long, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Kukoc is your 6th man.
Right. So then you got Curry, Thompson, Green, Durant, and Cousins. Okay. Right? If this is a healthy cousin.
Mm-hmm. Just assume they all healthy. They all healthy.
That's buddy.
I mean, the way I'm gonna match them up is
Yeah, no, I already see it. Like, that's.
I'm gonna put because the only
And
person
who's coming off the bench? Iguodala, right?
yeah, as this
As their sixth man.
I'm gonna bust it down like this, right? So
You can't guard Jordan. Like, Clay can try his best. You can't guard Mike. Steph might be able to, because Ron Harper was no slouch on defense either. Steph probably, with Steph's range and his dribbling ability, maybe he can throw Ron Harper off. Now you got Scotty and Durant going at each other. I'm gonna just cancel them out.
7-game series.
I'm gonna cancel them out because Durant isn't an easy cover and neither is Scotty. So I'm gonna cancel them out. They both like in their prime. Scotty in his prime. I'm gonna cancel them two out. Then you got Draymond and Rodman. The only difference with Draymond is a better offensive player. That's it. Like he can grab the ball and go on a break way better, and his decision making on the break is way better than Rodman. But Rodman defensively, his energy, his rebounding.
Rodman could score. He just chose not to.
I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying like Draymond is a better offensive player than Rodman. So it's like, do I cancel that out because of the offensive end? Draymond is better, and he plays, and he's a defender. But Dennis Rodman is like one of the all-time great rebounders. So it's like, could that cancel it out? Because Rodman possibly, because if you notice, Tristan Thompson always gave the Warriors a hard time on the offensive glass. It used to drive me crazy, but he gives them a hard time. So that would be Dennis Rodman giving them a hard time on the offensive glass. And then when you got a great player like Mike, if you give him another chance, he's going to score. You see what I'm saying? So those two cancel out. I cancel them out.
So you got
So now
7 games.
So now you got DeMarcus Cousins, Luke Long. I'm going with DeMarcus Cousins over Luke Long.
Okay.
Iguodala, Kukoc. Iguodala is a better defender. He's a better defender. Kukoc is a better shooter.
True.
But all around, I think Andre got him. He's a better, he's more athletic, better defender.
Okay.
So the main thing was Mike and Clay. If Clay is not getting those buckets,
With 90s rules,
with the
they're going to be
90s
more
rules.
physical.
Yeah.
Even if you go with today's rules and they can't be as physical against the Bulls, Jordan going to average 50 on them.
Yeah, because Clay is a great defender, but Mike knew how to pick the defenders apart. So well, okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go with the Bulls. I'm gonna go with the Bulls.
7-game series, how many games?
7 games. 7 games.
I'm going 6. Bulls.
Nah, I'm going 7 games because Steph is too good of a shooter, and it also comes down to stamina. Because if Mike has to chase Clay around, or even Steph around, off of them screens and stuff, they're exerting themselves on the defensive end. You know what I mean? So, which slows them down offensively. And then you got Steph, Clay, and KD that can shoot the 3 ball. You got Mike is not really a 3-point shooter. And then Pippen can shoot the 3 ball. Okay. And who else?
He wasn't the greatest 3-point shooter, but he could hit.
He was better than Mike.
No,
shooting the threes.
No. Scotty wasn't better than Mike.
Shooting the 3?
No. No way.
Scotty wasn't.
Nope.
I think Scotty was better at the 3 ball than Mike was.
No. The only thing Scotty was better than Mike was marginally better at defense. And I mean, that just shows how great of a defender Jordan was. Because Scotty's the best on-ball wing defender ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's no, knock on Scotty. Like, he's, for now, he's the best. But that just showed how great of a defender Jordan was.
Well, I'm not really. I didn't look at the stats and all that stuff, but from the games I remember watching, growing up and everything, and I could have sworn Scotty was a better 3-point shooter than Mike was.
No.
Because Mike didn't take too many threes. He'd take a 3 every now and then, but his bread and butter was that foul line area extending. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, that was kind of like everybody, unless you were Chris Mullin, Reggie Miller, guys like that, Dan Marley, stuff like that. But for me, I'm saying I got them in 6 because when the way I would match them up is you got Ron Harper on Steph. Steph's going to get his off, but I think he's going to play Steph physical, and he's going to come at him as soon as he crossing that line. He's going to hit him early in that 3.
Which he's supposed to do. Right.
Consistently. At the 2, if you put Jordan on Clay, that's it for Clay. Clay gets hot or whatever, but Jordan is going to cause him problems, and he's not going to be able to stop Mike. So that's a wash. Scotty,
but I don't think. That's what I'm saying with the Clay matchup, because Mike is going to have to chase him off them screens. They're going to run picks at Mike.
Yeah, but if he get picked off and get switched off on Scotty, that's even worse.
But now you got a taller player in Durant on Mike.
Yeah, but
and Durant could just shoot right over him.
Yeah, he could, but
you know what I'm saying? Scotty's wingspan made the difference. That makes a huge difference on Durant.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that if Scotty is able to stay on Durant majority of the time, that's going to frustrate Durant. That's going to frustrate him, and that's going to take a lot away from him. Or if some way they decide to put Scotty on Steph early, that's going to cause all sorts, and that's going to take them totally out of their offense.
No,
but
I don't think so.
But to me, what I would do is I would put Luke Longley on Draymond because of the size or whatever, and let him have to deal with that or whatever. And then if you put Dennis on DeMarcus, I think DeMarcus is going to really understand what crazy is and what it is to be physical and deal with somebody that doesn't care about his antics, because he invented antics. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to eat up them rebounds and not be able to get under his. I think that he would lose it first. DeMarcus Cousins will lose it first.
Yeah, you're right on that. But I think where you're messing up at is putting Longley on Green. Because now, if I see Luke Longley on me and I'm Draymond Green, spread the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drive past him every play.
I think you got to kind of pick your poison, because I think that there's more poise. I think with all of them, there's going to be kind of matchup problems, whatever, because what you going to do with Jordan?
Yeah,
right?
you can't guard Jordan.
But I think that I would rather gamble on Draymond being able to go off and do his thing in the 7-game series consistently, then I'm going, then when they have to maybe gamble on, who's going to be the liability on dealing with Jordan. And I know Steph got the range, but can shoot too.
Who?
Ron Harper, he could score and everything as well in his defense. And I just think that the chemistry,
I mean, the more I'm thinking about it,
a tight 6 games.
Nah,
A tight 6.
I think it's
give it to the
going.
Bulls.
I think it's going 7, but yeah, yeah. I think it go. It'd be a great matchup.
But I
think that if they all playing, if they were originally playing with the '90s rules and physicality, then that already changes everything. So they're already used to playing that way. So maybe Steph is in the weight room a little bit more. Maybe he's a little bit bulkier. Maybe KD is a little bit bulkier. But anyway, these are just some fun things that we, try to discuss, and we hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm Hoose.
Chess.
Welcome.
My NY. Good guys. Peace out.